In this video, we're going to talk about my gym goals for 2024 and how I feel my gym journey has been in 2023. So let's get into the video. Welcome back to another video, people. So this video is going to be a bit of a longer one. So if you're up for it, grab a snack and a brew, because you might be here a while. In this video, I'm going to go into detail regarding my 2023 journey in the gym and weight loss journey, and what I hope to achieve in 2024 in regards to that. Like I say, it's going to be a bit of a longer video. If you don't want to watch it all, that's fine. Skip through it and watch the bits you want to. If you want to watch it all, cool. Get yourself comfy and let's get into it. So a question I want to start off with is, how do I feel my journey went in 2023? To be honest, I don't feel entirely satisfied with it. I don't feel like it was consistent enough for me. I feel like I could have been more consistent, and I feel like I could have pushed myself more. There were a few times where I had a couple of injuries. I've still got one as I'm filming this, and I don't really know what I'm going to do moving forward, but we'll figure it out. In terms of mental game, my mental game was all there. Sometimes to the point where I'd say it was even toxic for myself, because there were times where my mindset was like, we're going to get up and go to the gym tomorrow. Bearing in mind, right, I set my alarms from 10 to 4 in the morning, before work, to get up for the gym so that we can leave and hopefully get there by 4:30. So there were times where my mind was like, we're going to the gym in the morning, because we go 4 times a week now. And then I'd find that I'd wake up and it was 7:15, and I was like, I wanted to go to the gym today. It's like, no matter, we'll try again tomorrow. Same thing would happen. I'd wake up at 7:15 or 6:30 or whatever, completely miss my alarms altogether. And it made me realise that there are times where your body's tired, and no matter how much your mindset is on point, if your body's not there and your body's not playing ball, there's not a lot you can do about it. So there was a lot of the time my mindset was, I'm going to the gym, and my body was like,
I'm not, so I don't know what you're going to do about it.
So it was frustrating for me, because I'd be like, look, I want to go to the gym, so we've got to get up in the morning, and we just never did. So it frustrated me a bit, but I know how to fix it. We've got a game plan moving forward, because you see, the thing is, especially with my sleep, considering I get up so early in the morning for work, for the gym, I can still be awake at 11:30, sometimes 12 o'clock, and my first alarm set for 10 to 4. So you think, if I do manage to get up for the gym 3 out of 4 times in the week, and then try and repeat that the week after, there's going to be a point where my body crashes because it's so tired, because it's had little to no sleep. So I have to sort my sleeping out for my routine next year if I want to be more consistent, because we're leveling up next year, and I'll cover that in a little bit. We're just going to go through these first. Another thing was my attitude. So my split looks like push on a Monday, pull on a Tuesday, leg down on a Wednesday, anything I want on a Friday. So a Friday I like, because sometimes I'll do boxing on a Friday, on a bag. I'll do concentrated bicep curls, so I might think, what, I really want to get my form down on bicep curls, and I'll save that till Friday, because I have no plan, if you will. I was getting to Wednesday and being like, I don't feel like it, so I'm just not going to do it. Or I'd have an injury like I've got now, and rather than attempt to see what I could actually do safely, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. So my attitude towards the back end of the year started to just waver a little bit, and was a bit like, well, we'll see. So that annoyed me. Like I said, sleeping and discipline could have been better. That is something that is on my list for improvement. So my sleeping, like I mentioned, sometimes I could have been up at 11:30, and then my first alarm was 10 to 4. Sometimes I would get up, other times I wouldn't, and the more I tried to put my body through that, the more it kicked back, the more it was like, I ain't getting up because I'm tired. And it was just, beating me up. I was so tired, honestly. I'd get to a weekend and I'd sleep a normal amount of hours, you know, like 7-8 hours, and I'd wake up with a pounding head because my body was like, I ain't used to that much sleep. I'm used to 4 hours sleep, 3.5 hours sleep. So it's not good for me, and it didn't do me any good towards the back end of the year. So moving forward into 2024, sleep is a big thing I need to work on. And another one I've wrote down is I want to be consistent in my discipline. In order for me to get an accurate journey and an accurate log, because this is the other thing, right? This camera sits out all the time because my intention, because I'm filming a documentary about it, or trying to, and my intention was, look, I sit this camera out all the time so that I have no excuse not to film the bits that I need to film. How many times have I turned this on this year? Do you know what I mean? Because I have no discipline in regards to being consistent. I hate the scales, like seriously. I think we should ban all scales. Throw your scales out, you don't need them. You know, you don't need a piece of metal to tell you big numbers, okay? If you feel good and you feel like you've lost weight, but if the scale's like, nah bro, you ain't, bin them. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. But, in order for me to get an accurate documentation of this journey, I need to stand on them, and I don't like doing that. That is an area that I could have improved on. I could have been more consistent in stepping on the scales, but more often than not, because of my sleeping, would wake up late for the gym. I would, you know, drag my half asleep backside out of bed, chuck the gym clothes on, and we'd get in the car so we weren't late, and I wouldn't weigh myself. So I'd do it tomorrow. Then same thing would happen. We'd be stuck in this cycle where it's like, look, I'm oversleeping, nearly late for the gym, we need to get to the gym, and then because we were nearly late for it, I'd have a workout that wasn't up to my standard. You know, I'd be very unhappy with my 40-minute workout or 45-minute workout because I'd have to skip certain exercises just to get it done, and I don't like doing that. I like getting a full workout done, and I'd be doing like 3/4 of one, and it's like, no, that's annoying me, that. So I need to be more disciplined and more consistent in my discipline, especially when it comes to the scales. Whether the number is a good number or a bad number, it needs to get written down, and it needs to get written down every day. Because if I'm expecting to go in 2024 and level up, I need the facts, don't I? I need the data, I need the numbers. So that's one thing. Keeping an accurate record has been my weakest point this year because it's barely happened, you know. So let's move on to another question that I'm going to ask myself, is what are some of the positives and negatives of this journey? So I'll start with the negatives just because, you know, we'll end on the positive ones, we'll get the negative ones out of the way. So one of the negative ones, I've covered it already, is sleep. You know, my sleeping pattern got messed up when I stopped going to the gym after work and started going before work. Initially we started off and I was like, this is mega, you know. I did it once. If you was to ask my sister, bearing in mind, right, I used to be, I'm not going to say I am because it's not true anymore, but I used to be the kind of person that was like, there's only 4 o'clock in the day and it's in the afternoon, you know. Earlier on in the year she was like, I want to go in the morning before work. And I was like, okay, I'll try and get up with you. And I did it once and I was like, this is mega. Do you know what I mean? So from then on I was like, this is cool. But the problem with that is I've never been able to go to bed early. Like my earliest that I would go to sleep is like midnight. Do you know what I mean? I just can't do it. I just can't get in bed at 9 o'clock or 9:30 and go to sleep and get a good amount of hours in. I just can't do it. My body's not used to that, you know what I mean? It's used to staying up late and having a normal amount of hours sleep and just waking up later in the day than anybody else. My sleeping was just not good, and because of that I was mentally and physically exhausted. So I'd get to the gym, and bearing in mind at this point of filming, right, on dumbbell chest press I can just about push 30 kilos on dumbbells in each hand, 30 in each hand, but I can only get about 8 reps out, and they are a struggle, you know. I'm like kind of thing. But I know that if I was more energized and had better sleep and my mind and body was more energized, I could just rep them out because I know I'm capable of much more than I am. So that annoyed me because my workouts were suffering because of my lack of sleep. To the point where, you know, she has a coach. She has a coach that she's doing a thing with at the moment, and she recommended me to him. And he does like these 6-week programs, and there's nothing against these programs, right? I'm not saying they're a bad thing. He does these 6-week programs for like a fraction of the price, you know, just so you can experience what he does. And then at the end of the course, if you want it, you know, much like any PT or any coach, if you want his services, you can sign up, and I think you get a bit of a discount because you've done this 6-week program, but I don't know. So I was putting it off. She's like, you need to do it because she's done it, and she was like, it really helped me. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I don't want to do that yet. I like doing my own thing. Anyway, I decided to try it. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go because maybe it will just, you know, it'll sort my discipline out. It will sort my mindset out. It will get me in that place. It'll get me in that place where I need to be with all of this. First few weeks, I was like, yeah, this is all right. It's a bit hard because I've got to take photos of myself every week. I've got to weigh myself every day. I've got to log all my data, and it's flipping hard to do all that when you're working all the time and you're very forgetful like I am. I'm very forgetful, which I need to try and improve on. But, you know, to the point where the last few weeks, I just didn't bother doing anything at all because it was more stress for me that I didn't need. And I was like, I can't keep up with it, so I didn't bother doing it. Now, upon reflection, you know, that would have been good for me to continue, I think, if I was in the right frame of mind to do it. But, you know, that's another thing that it just became a chore, and I was like, this isn't working. I can't do this anymore. Not the working out, but I can't be consistent in this logging all this data and keeping up with all these demands of what he wants me to do and all blah blah blah, you know. Like I said, I'm not saying coaches are a bad thing. I'm just saying they work for some people and don't work for others. You know, that's a negative in the sense that I probably could have got so much more from that if my mindset was ready for it, you know. But you live and learn, don't you? Sometimes the way other people do things isn't always the best way for me, as I'm finding out with uni, you know. That's the thing that I'm looking to speak to people about, because I'm realizing that some of the way I'm being taught isn't the way my mind learns. So I'm trying to solve that. But yeah, there's probably more negatives that I just can't think of right now. But this gym journey started out really well. Like, I started out really fired up and really motivated, and then towards the back end of the year I was still motivated, but I wasn't like, yeah, let's go. It was like, yeah, I need to do this. Do you know what I mean? So just a few negatives as we kind of got towards the back end of the year. But let's move on to the positives now. So the positives are that I switched my routine up from after work to before work, and I reached a point where, because work is crazy at the moment, I reached a point where it was like, you know what, even if I'm not in a good mood with all of that, at least I'm going somewhere I enjoy first before work, because I enjoy the gym, you know. So no matter how busy a day got at work, my mindset got to the point where it was like, okay, the positive of going to the gym before work is that at least I'm going to somewhere I enjoy before I go to somewhere that I'm not enjoying as much, you know. So that was a big positive for me. It's a massive game changer, you know. I'm coming from someone who was like, there's only 4 o'clock in the day and it's in the afternoon, to getting up at 4 to go to the gym. It just, honestly, it switched me. Literally flipped my life in the opposite direction. I was like, wow, this is a game changer, this. So that was a positive. Another positive is that, you know, I got my workout routines down. Like, I locked them in. I was like, Monday's push, this is what I'm doing on push. Tuesday's pull, this is what I'm doing on pull. Wednesday's legs, this is what I'm doing on legs. And then towards the back end of the year, when we started going 4 times, I was like, Friday's going to be my day where if there's something that I've wanted to try during the week but I've not had time, it's like, right, stick it on Friday's workout, and I can dedicate like 15-20 minutes to it. So that's a positive, that I was like, you know, I went from like,
I don't know what I'm going to do in the gym,
to like,
this is what I'm going to do every 4 days.
You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's a positive, because I can walk in the gym now and I'm like, this is what today is. This is what I'm doing. So it's like, it's changed everything for the better, because you should always go to the gym with a plan. That's what I've learned. You should always go to the gym with a plan. Another positive is that, you know, I've seen physical changes in my body. They're not as rapid as I would like them to be, hence why we're going to level up in 2024. But I've seen changes. Like, I have traps now, you can't see them because I'm wearing a hoodie, but I have shoulders now, I have biceps, kind of. My chest is getting shape, you know. My upper body has muscle, and it's toned, and it's getting toned. So that's a positive, that I saw results, you know, and it does something to you when you see results, you know. When you start seeing results in the gym, really gets you going. It really like, yeah, this is meant, you know, and you like, what I'm doing is working. So that was a good positive for me. But like I say, now we're like moving on to the next phase in 2024, where it's like no more messing around. Sort your sleep out, sort your steps out, sort your food out, and just drop this baggage off once and for all, and just skyrocket into the person that you want to be. You know, that's the plan. So that leads us nicely onto the last question of the video, which is, what do you want to achieve in 2024 moving forward with this journey? So we've covered what we started out like, and we've covered what we've learned in the process up to now. We've covered the good and the bad of the 2023 journey. Now it's time to cover what I'm hoping to achieve from 2024 moving forward. So I've said it multiple times, but just to clarify, I want to level up, you know. I want to go, right, we've formed a good base. This is one thing I was thinking of. If anything, this year in the gym, because it's not been a full year, I think it's been like 6 months of proper working out. So let's say half a year. But in 2023, what has taught me is that we've formed a good base. We've learned a lot. We've learned what to do moving forward. We've learned what we need to do to improve. We've started forming like a good foundation of the body. You know, there's a lot of fat to lose yet, but underneath that, we've started to form a good foundation. So next year is now like, look, we've done the intro. Now it's time to move on to the main game. You know, we've done the prologue of the game, if you will. Now it's time to get into the main story and just start picking up quests and picking up loot and just leveling up our stats, you know. So that's a big thing that I want to do in 2024. I've already covered it slightly, but I want to dial in my out of gym routine. Those are the words I've written down on my iPad that you can't see, but out of gym routine, because this whole like weight loss journey is so much more than just working out. It's what you eat outside of the gym. It's what you do in terms of steps outside of the gym. It's what you do in terms of sleeping outside of the gym. My big goal now for this journey next year is to really lock in my outside of gym routine, because whilst my inside of gym routine can be improved, it can always be improved. I'm always changing it and trying new things. I feel for the most part it is already sorted. You know, it's already like, right, we've got a good thing going there. Now it's time to lock in my outside of gym routine and then marry them together, and then that's when, you know, we'll just be like, we're off. So that's a big area that I want to do. You know, I really want to remain focused, and I really want to like focus up better, because I don't want my progress to be, oh yeah, well, for a good few weeks we made a little bit of progress and then we've gone stale, and then we've got a bit here and a bit there. You know, it's like, no, each month, next month, each week, I want to be like bam, 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 improvement, 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 to the point where this time next year I can sit here with a body that I'm proud of and a body that I've always wanted to work towards, and I can be like, bye baggage for good. You know, that's a big thing. This year has taught me, and this, you know, 6-month consistency in the gym, if you will, has taught me that I'm sick of lumping this lot around now. Like, I'm sick of carrying this baggage around. Like, I'm done with it. If I could literally just like dump it in the bin right now, I would do it in a heartbeat. You know, sick of it. Winding me up now. So 2024, it's like, right, you're getting in the bin. You know what I mean? It's time for you to go in the bin now. So that's a big thing. And then I've wrote down something for 2025, which is kind of irrelevant at the moment, but my progress, the way I see it, is like, this year was learning. It was about learning and taking on board and forming a good foundation. 2024 is the leveling up stage. It's the like, right, we're taking what we've learned in 2023 and applying it in 2024 and dropping this fat and skyrocketing. 2025 is like where we try and push ourselves a little bit. I've wrote down maybe get a little bit leaner, but it depends what my body's saying this time next year, innit? So I'm already thinking ahead for 2025 for this journey and making notes of what I potentially might want to do in that year. We've done phase 1, now it's on to phase 2, and I'm really excited to see what phase 2 brings us. So I know that was a bit of a longer video. It needed to be really for my sake, you know, so that I can document what I'm going to do next year, because this is kind of all like my big roundup videos now for before we kick off next year. If you've stuck around and watched it all, then I appreciate you, and if you're going to stick around for the journey next year, then awesome. I'll see you on the other side of the new year. I appreciate the time that you spent to watch this, and I appreciate the time that you spent to watch my other videos, and if you've stuck around for this journey so far, even though it's been hit and miss here and there, then I appreciate it. Like I say, I'm working on the project, which I don't know what it's called yet, but I just know that I want to make it's a challenge to myself really, to try and make a film, a documentary, hence why my camera's sat out all the time. So what I'm hoping to learn from this year is that I need to record a lot more footage for it. So, you know, like I say, I don't know what the project's called yet, but something that I wrote down a couple of years ago when I started this channel is I wanted to get into like filmmaking a little bit. Nothing major, you know, I'm not looking to be a Hollywood director out, but every so often, because I like documentaries, I like the way they're filmed, I like the challenges that you face when you have to film a documentary. So when I say filmmaking, you know, I'm not trying to get like The Rock to star in a film or out like that. You know, it's just a little hobby. So hence why I'm going to make a documentary about this journey, if I can be consistent enough. So it'll be years in the making. It will literally be years in the making. It might even take me longer to edit it and upload it than it does to film it. So don't expect to see it anytime soon, but I will keep you informed of the progress of the journey if it's something you're interested in. And then lastly, you know, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be this consistent. I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I'm forever grateful for what he's done in my life and what he's still doing, challenging me to be the person he wants me to be and the person I want me to be. So I'm forever grateful to him for, you know, getting me up in the morning every day to go to the gym. Well, I don't go to the gym every day, but you know what I'm saying. Getting me up and doing what I need to do to be a better version of myself. And also, big shout out, like seriously, like massive, the biggest of shout outs to my sister and her boyfriend. Especially to my sister, because she's my gym bro. Like, you know, she's my gym buddy. She corrects my form in the gym when I'm doing it wrong. She's the one that says you need to do this and you need to do that. She literally is. And I mentioned it in, pretty sure, another video. But she's like my nutritionalist. She sits down with me and she goes, right, what can we do to improve your diet? What can we do to change it up so that it's better for you? We've already had, you know, we've sat down and changed it for next year, which is amazing. You know, she's like my PT, she's my best mate, she's my nutritionalist, she's my gym bro. You know what I mean? She's done a lot for me in keeping me consistent in the gym, you know, and calling me out when I should be doing better as well. You know, I would never ask anyone to like baby me, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, you're doing really well. Like, no, if I'm failing, tell me I'm failing. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not pushing myself as hard as I can, tell me. And she does that regularly. I can be in the gym and I'll pick up some dumbbells and she'll be like, you can lift heavier than that. And I'm like, I can't. And she's like, you can, pick them up, put the dumbbells back. You know what I mean? Like, I might pick up 20s or something and she'll go, get the 22s, you can lift heavier. So she's constantly calling me out in the right way. So I wouldn't be where I am on my gym journey if it wasn't for her and her boyfriend. Because the boyfriend's much the same, you know. So a big shout out to the pair of you if you're watching this. So I am very excited to see where 2024 takes us on this journey and where it takes us in being consistent as well, because without consistency you don't really get very far, do you? So I'm hoping to be consistent more in filming content for this channel and more in my journey in the gym, in every aspect of it, inside the gym and outside. So I'm very, very excited to see what happens next year. I'm ready for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready for next year. I've got my goals written down. I've got plans in place. I've got a load of different projects I'm working on. So many different projects that I will cover in another video. But 2024 is going to be mint. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. Lots is going to happen next year. And hopefully, this time next year,
we'll be millionaires.
I will look completely different. And I will have achieved everything I've set out to achieve in terms of the gym and my working out goals. And we'll then see what we need to do for 2025, which is exciting. So there's not really much more left to say, really. Other than, you know, at the time of filming this, Christmas has been and gone. We're a few days away from 2024. So I hope you've had a good Christmas. I hope it's been a Christmas that you've needed and you've wanted. And I really hope that 2024 is good to you. And I appreciate it all for sticking around this year. And, you know, I'm excited to see what we all do next year. So apart from that, have a good new year. And I will see you next year. Catch you later.